It might be a good idea for the little dog to get fed, but that chihuahua ain't helping in the win column. Now, to my rant, because I know you're a stats guy. It's on Pro Football Reference if you want to check it out. Brandon Cooks targeted 9 times versus Oakland, 9 times versus the Giants, 8 versus Atlanta, 9 versus Carolina, 9 versus Kansas City, 8 versus Carolina the second time, 9 versus Detroit, and 10 versus Tampa. We know they only won one of those Carolina games. That means old Cooksy ain't getting it done as far as contributing to a win. Now, back to what you were saying about, I want to make my point with this. It's the idea that, is it being overblown? Maybe. But you know who started this story? Brandon Cooks. No one asked Brandon Cooks, hey, Brandon, are you real frustrated? Are you mad at all? Are you feeling some type of way inside? Are you not hugged enough? Is there a puppy that you need? Nobody asked him anything about his temperament. He voiced his own opinion. How did he do it? And the only way possible that players know they're going to get all the attention that they were craving. He went on social media. And when you do anything on social media, you open yourself up to the criticism that comes along with it from fans, media, and anybody else that wants to jump on the bandwagon because you open that door, you open Pandora's box, can't just stuff it all back in once you do so. So it's all his fault. Nobody brought this on Brandon Cooks. He brought it on himself, as well as we talked about it last week. He didn't back down from his comments. So it's not like he was like, you know what, I was frustrated. I made those comments out of anger. No. Homeboy meant every bit of what he said. In fact, I even think he stuck his little chest out a little bit more and said it again. Well, the guys in the locker room know what type of person I am. Hell, I think everybody in the country knows what type of person you are now. You pretty much told us. It doesn't matter win, lose, or draw. I need mine. Because I'm trying to be great, which is no problem if you want to be great. It's just I don't know how great you can be when you're in the system. There are some guys who do their jobs and do them real well. Rev, you're probably a great pastor. Now let me say probably. I'm more than sure. I bet real money you're a great pastor. But you can't do it by yourself. If the congregation doesn't show up and you're preaching in a room full of walls, nobody cares. Nobody cares. And that's basically what Brandon Cooks is doing. He's preaching in a room full of walls right now. Because, yes, you can be great. But you have to be great within the confines that is going to allow you to blossom. And right about now, saying I need the ball, ain't doing it. I mean, it's not like he's a horrible player. No, he is the best receiver that the Saints have. He can run every route. The Saints had a virtual big three going on. They had Cooks, they had Ingram, you got Breeze. You want to know which one of those players messed that up? And again, you have been so great tonight at making my point for me. Mark Ingram didn't cry. He didn't say I need my touches. He didn't go on a social media tirade saying how it's a business, so he has to treat it that way. No, Mark Ingram shut his mouth. He did what he had to do. He waited his time, and all of a sudden, he exploded. And now you're the Mark Ingram apologist between the two of us. Where does he rank in Saints lore as far as running backs are concerned?
4th all time.
Oh, my God. No, say it ain't so. You got Juice. You got Reggie. You got Pierre. My God. But wait, Brandon Cooks. Did you not just say a little while ago he's on pace to break Antonio Brown's record? Well, we ain't getting in the ball enough, so let's ignore that. You know what? Let me go back to my Brandon Cooks voice. I'm mad. I'm not getting the ball, and I'm upset. I'm going to keep on pouting and sticking my little chest out until somebody throws me the ball, and if Drew doesn't, then I'm going to go on social media again and say it's a business. I'm sick of that dude. In fact, if it was up to me, should he be traded? Maybe not. Would I trade him? I'd open the phone lines and be the highest bidder. Goodbye. I'd send him packing because I don't need guys like that on my team. Last time I checked, Brandon Cooks was nowhere near. I mean, hell, he might not have been born when the Saints won the Super Bowl. I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need Brandon Cooks on my team to win a Super Bowl because right about now, as I just pointed out, he's been on the team for 3 years. I have yet to see the Saints win. He basically, if you're not good, you're not going to be there when it's thick. I mean, if you're not going to be there when it's thin, I can't have you there when it's thick. I need Brandon Cooks to know his role and shut his mouth. And it's just that simple. You know what you do. You know what you bring to the team. Nobody should have to validate that. Nobody should have to put him in the corner, give him a hug, and tell him everything's going to be okay. You want to be a grown man? You want to treat it like a business? Here's an idea. Don't drop a touchdown pass anymore, especially when your team needs you and you're fighting for a playoff spot. Don't half-ass it. Pardon me. Don't give a half effort when it's time for you to make a big play down the stretch. And I know you want to combat that and tell me that, maybe, Drew Brees let him a little bit too much. Or maybe, Cooksey heard some footsteps coming and he was like, nah, I ain't going to go for that one. I'm going to let that one pass. Or the play when he was deep down the field and Brees overthrew him, you know what? I don't care if you drop it. Lay out for it. Go all out. Show me you really want the ball as much as you cried for it. And with that being said, the Saints still have the chance to win if they doesn't drop a touchdown pass. So, I digress. Your turn. Patrick, maybe you can give it a go.
Well, I'm good with that. That was perfect. But I mean, he's a good receiver. I don't say trading though, but I mean, we'll see what happens with that. I just didn't like the way he did it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't like it. But it is what it is. Move on from it. That's the way I look at it. But I didn't like it.
Hey, Rev,
I think all three of us are on the same boat. I might not be captaining the boat, but we're on the same boat when it comes down to we don't like it. We all agree it was wrong. We all agree it was a selfish act. We all agree it should not have happened, that he should have taken the road less traveled. I'm not arguing that. My entire argument has been it's ridiculous the amount of vitriol that's being spewed at the guy. Because, we can preach the whole Mark Ingram thing, Marcus Colston quiet storm thing, all we want. But let's be real here. People are not all the same. They're not all like that. Ask someone in ministry, I can tell you, there ain't no two people that are identical. They all have some little different facet about them. They're all going to do things differently. You're not going to fill a football team of 53 people if you're looking to have the best person available at any given position with all quiet little church mouse who just come out there, play the game, bow when they score a touchdown, put the football on the ref's head, and just walk off. You're just not. I'm sorry. And Cooks obviously is not that person. He's been quiet for the most part, but he's been with the team 3 years and we've yet to have seen this emerge. I'm not saying that the outburst was okay. I'm not. I'm saying you can't take a guy who has served you faithfully for 3 years, gets mad, frustrated one time, regardless of if he's come back and apologized for it. Maybe he'll see the error of his ways. Maybe he won't. But you don't take a guy who has been good for you that long and then immediately lose your loyalty to the guy. And I know you're going to say the same thing about him towards the Saints. That's fine. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm also saying two wrongs don't make a right either. I mean, we agree. The comments shouldn't have happened. The way that they happen is the exact way that you tell things not to happen, especially Sean Payton, because he hates anything to do with media, social media comments. He has made comments to certain players who are now gone, especially players that you got blocked by and I got blocked by last year who are no longer with the team because they decided to make comments and talk a lot. It wasn't the only reason they're gone, but one of. You know what I mean? That's where I'm standing. And I agree with you. I'm not saying passing to Cooks is going to make the team win more, but I also will say that it's a much bigger problem than you point out. He gets that many targets over a span of 8 games, and we only win 1. We can't exactly put that on him either, because let's not act like Marcus Colston has not dropped touchdown passes in his career. Jimmy Graham didn't drop touchdown passes. Pierre Thomas. Everybody does it. Nobody's perfect. Now, is it coincidental or, unlucky that this happened to him right after he decided to run his mouth? Well, you can call that karma, or you can call it, as the Bible called it, reaping what you sow. He ran his mouth, and this is what happens after he ran his mouth. Fine. But let's stop treating this guy like the worst player on the team and that he needs to leave. I'm sorry, it's ridiculous. I won't agree with it. I agree with you that he shouldn't have said the things. I agree with you that he shouldn't say them. He should come out and say, look, I was wrong, and this is why I said it. I'm with y'all, 100%. But I'm still not going to be with y'all in terms of the guy is – I can't even put it how you're putting it anymore. You've put it the best way that anybody can from your stance. I mean, I just simply can't come at him like that. I can't. Maybe it's the forgiveness in me from the religious standpoint. I don't know. Maybe Kyle Mosley will jump on here and join with me. I feel like I'm outgunned here 2-1. But I think everybody listening gets what I'm saying too. It's not that I'm trying to excuse the guy. It's that you have a little loyalty. Let the guy grow up because maybe he isn't the personality of the Marcus Colston. And I can't expect him to be if that's not the type of man he is.
Mute off.
Yo, man, I heard you say that 2 wrongs don't make it right. No, but 4 rights make a left. So, I mean, what are we saying here?
Kyle Mosley's here. Come on, brother. Tell me what you think. Maybe you'll disagree with me too, and I'll be 3-1, and I'll just quit.
Look, man, I can see everybody's points. How you guys doing?
Hey,
Doing good, Kyle. Doing good.
Brother?
I can see everybody's point. The kid's young, and he made a mistake, and I think it was a little bit of reaping what he sowed as well. But I've got to agree on this one point. Man, he should have tried to lay out for that pass in the end zone. I was saying the same thing. I don't understand why he didn't make more of an effort to try to get that touchdown. But he's a young kid. Hopefully he can be able to learn from this mistake. I don't think we need to throw him out. You don't throw the baby out with the bathwater because right now this bathwater is dirty, dirty, dirty. What we got going on in the Who Dat Nation, man. So, but I just think you have a talent there. We have him, Snead, as well as Thomas, and if we get somebody to complement those guys, I don't know if it's Coleman or whomever it should be coming up next season. I think we still have a good core of young wide receivers. Let's stay with these guys, and hopefully he will learn from this era of his selfish ways. That's the best thing I could say.
Well, I think overall, that's all we can hope for. I mean, just like we hope Brandon Browner wouldn't run his mouth, block people on Twitter, and play better football on the field. One thing I can say for Cooks is most games, yeah, he'll have bad ones, and I'll include Tampa on that one. But overall, 3 years, he's consistently performed for us and balled out. Now, I don't believe he's the because I know you referenced us not winning games. I don't believe he's the game changer, as in he steps on the field and we win football. There's very few people like that in the NFL. But I don't know. Just a guy who's performed like that consistently, I just can't do it. Maybe that's my flaw.
No, it's not that. I mean, it's hard to ignore the production. I mean, it's not like the guy's a bum. And if I'm coming across saying it to any of the listeners that way, that's not my intention. I'm not saying Brandon Cooks is an awful player at all. And I'm not necessarily saying you get rid of him just to get rid of him. It's not like the Saints should trade him for a bag of Skittles. But if a sweet enough deal comes along, I mean, I think that you have to definitely consider it. And I know Ian Rappaport came out and said that.
Look. I am interrupting you, so I was going to say don't mean to interrupt you, but I do. If you're going to use that argument, let's not act like this little scenario that's become Mount Everest is the reason, because the Saints would take a good deal for anybody. If somebody came up and offered 2 first-rounders and a Pro Bowl linebacker for, Teron Armstead, bye. I mean, if we're talking good deals, everybody's up for trade. So let's not act like this little thing is just now, he's on the trade block, and if there's a good deal, we're going to do it. No, they're going to do it anyway.
There's a difference. I believe there's a difference. I believe finding an all-pro caliber left tackle, especially for the Saints, It's a lot harder than signing a wide receiver who, although he may be the